In university, the expectations are pretty simple. You have discussion posts, you have participation if you're doing it online. I'm not speaking for people who go to the traditional school. There's other things. There's some things that online people do specifically. So hell, I thought in the beginning, well, I'm good. Right, so for 2 classes per semester, 250 words a class, and you got to do that, right? So I thought, well, I got this in the bag. And then I became a writer. So what we're going to talk about here is what you need to know about becoming a writer. Because really the truth is that, like, the journey when you start, it's not going to be the journey that you're on when you get immersively involved in writing your book. There are writers out there that are not intrinsically writers. This is for those that have an intrinsic knack and a skill sets already for writing in their toolbox, right? And what I consider the writer's toolbox. There's other information available out there, informational videos and whatnot, for those that need extra guidance. So for right now, for today, the focus is on you becoming a writer. So one of the first things you need to know is that it's a lifestyle. Okay? Writers invest the majority of their time and energy producing content. Okay? And they do that with imagination and creativity that innovate essentially stories, and depending on perspective there. So this all takes time, research, and energy. Okay? Although yes, there are going to be exclusions that apply. Like some authors, they write in coffee shops, their laptops. They go places like, I don't know, coffee shops and use pen and pad to write down their notes while they're running errands. I mean, there's all sorts of things, right? So the writer is very much that of a journalist, with respect that an author is able to maybe proceed in an environment where they might not have corporate limitations, for examples, right? Like, they might not be, as an author, you're not going to have a ceiling on what you can produce because you're producing it. You are the creator. There aren't many locals, right, that you're going to come across. So when you're working around the clock writing your book, the folks that are in your environment, right, they may not be the people that are actually like seeing you put in the work for your writing, right? Because they do a different kind of work, right? So you need to be prepared that the writer lifestyle is one that has the option of being lonely, intensely lonely. But it also has the option for outreach and networking with others who might be interested, in coaching your cause along. Let me be clear that there's no exhaustive list of expectations, right, for becoming a writer. So there's no, like, specific steps and program. There's nothing like that, okay? It happens when a writer decides that the author will write their first novel. Or perhaps their first series. So, if we drilled it down a little bit more, right, what can you expect to know, or need to know, before you write your first book? And one of the biggest things is that your book is going to change directions every so often. Right? It's going to happen. You're going to have great ideas that come up. They're going to seem brilliant. They're going to contain occasional genius. And those ideas, you can't incorporate them in your story. They don't work. They're like these big banners in your book that are like, where did this even come from? So you're going to have maybe a little document set aside that's going to be stuff that you come up with that doesn't work right now. Right? This helps your book to keep flowing, okay? Because then you're not having to incorporate this idea right now into the story you're writing, because that can be maddeningly frustrating. But you don't have to worry about it, right? Because this is stuff that you're going to learn to adapt with and be creative with, and then innovate ideas, and then incorporate those innovative ideas into your existing ideas. Right? So in this moment, right, writing your first book, the topic you have, you want to stay as close to that topic as possible. Okay? It's important to know in advance what you'll be writing about. You're going to be performing myriad amounts of research on this, right? And so straying away from your topic isn't the best idea. It's going to confuse the audience, and if you're spreading out, you're not narrowing your research. When people are reading your book, right, they don't want you to stray away from your topic. It's going to confuse them. It's inconsistent. There's no fluidity there, right? Next, you need to know that you'll enjoy what you do. I said this is for those with the intrinsic toolbox, not with the ones that are trying to make it. This is for writers that are entering the industry and what you need to know because it's going to work for you, right? So you're bound to enjoy what you do. Like, it's not a guarantee. Some people have anhedonia and they can't feel joy, and they have other things going on, right? So nothing's a guarantee. But remember that when you were young, okay, you were told that you should do something that makes you happy. I'm going to switch this up, okay? What about doing something that provides you with a source of joy and abundance? When you become a writer, you're driven by a passion that you can't quite put your finger on. There's no articulation. I mean, maybe there is. There's lots of writers and there's lots of ways to articulate things. The way you develop ways, essentially, right, of expressing to your audience information that furthers your engagement with them, right? So there's a joy that you feel when writing will enable you to do what it is that you do. So you're writing, and then you have people that are writing what you're reading what you're writing, and they're enjoying it. It just came around, and now you're enjoying it. You were already in a state of joy, and now you're enjoying that, right? It's important to enjoy what you do, okay? Because we got to recall the lifestyle of authors. So when you enjoy what you do, you're taking the fear and you're taking all the personal rejections, right? All that stuff, and you're removing it, okay? Because those are going to accumulate. You're going to get rejection letters everywhere, right? But you enjoy what you do. And so there's part of that stack of rejections. That isn't so bad. Even if they didn't read it and they just didn't show up, at least you got the rejection back. Right? And so you need to know that being an author, it's super tough. Right? It's not life insurance. It's not real estate. This is a different kind of tough. Writing generally doesn't involve getting hung up on, told no, and you're not told you're a telemarketer. But it does involve being told that your writing isn't great, that you're not good enough, there's no openings for you, that there's no room for you, and that you won't be considered. Okay? And accepting that there will be mounds of work that simply just don't make the cut. It's not easy to throw away your could have made it, but didn't, into a pile of hundreds, if not thousands of words, right? And it's also, it's not easy in the beginning to become a writer. The financial benefits of writing in the beginning are absolutely fraught with concern, right? And until you develop something that actually works, the beginnings are really, really super humble. Now, you might recall that when you were growing up, people told you you ain't supposed to work for free. You go to the library and you get a book for free. Recall the last book you spent money on. Leave that in the comments below. Now, recall the last book that you invested money in. Leave that comment below. When you consider all the information, financial, lifestyle, right, what you need to know, it can be a substantial period where revenue is not promise. Those moments, okay, those moments are the moments that you should know before you write your book, because there's going to be steep uphill climbs. There's going to be times, where it's going to seem daunting, and your audience is going to be interesting and lame at the same time, and you're going to have gold nuggets that you have no idea where they came from, and then you're going to sit down and you're going to write ideas that are just terrible. And there's other times when you're going to type, and you're going to type productive, and it's going to be discoverable as an outcome for people. So what you want to know, ideally and realistically, before you become a writer, is that you need to believe in yourself, folks. I mean, you're going to be the writer, you're going to be the author, and you're going to be the creator. So you have to believe that you're going to be a best-selling author. You have to believe in yourself so that other people believe in the content that you're producing. Much the way you need the oxygen mask rule to apply, you need that in your life, okay? You also need to establish yourself as a writer, as an author, and that you believe in yourself, because the industry is super, super, super competitive, okay? It's ridiculously competitive. So when you become the writer that writes nothing about your niche and you do it the best way possible, it's because you became a writer.